제10차 한마음 국제학술대회 두 번째 세션을 진행할 과학원 회원 김종훈입니다. 예, 그리고 미리 좀 양해 드릴 말씀이 있는데요. 이 오후 시간에는 동시 통역이 이제 진행이 되겠습니다만은 그게 바로바로 그냥 똑같이 동시 통역은 안 되고 약간의 시차가 있는 점 감안해서 들어주시면 감사하겠습니다. 두 번째 세션에서는 모두 네 분의 발표가 있겠습니다. 네 분은 간략하게 한번 소개를 먼저 드리자면은 첫 번째는 발표자 원하이밍 교수님, 토론자 김재영 교수님, 두 번째는 발표자 김준영 박사님, 토론자 이준엽 원장님, 세 번째는 발표자 오영국 회원님, 토론자 양영순 선임연구원님, 마지막은 발표자 박진영 회원님, 토론자 박소진 교수님입니다. 첫 번째 발표자로 원하이밍 교수님을 모시겠습니다. 교수님은 현재 중국 인민대학교 철학과 교수이시며 마노아에 있는 하와이 대학에서 박사 학위를 받으셨습니다. 그리고 중국어와 영어로 된 10권 이상의 저서를 갖고 계십니다. 교수님의 발표 주제는 대행선사의 뜻으로 풀이한 금강경 영역본을 바탕으로 해서 대행선사의 한마음과 원하이밍 교수님의 의본론 Intentology를 비교철학적으로 해석한 내용을 발표해 주시겠습니다. 자, 다 같이 경청해 주시기 바랍니다.
Dear masters, dear friends, good afternoon. I feel a great honor to be a speaker in the Hannan Science International Conference. Thank Professor Kim for inviting me to be part of the conference. Today, I would like to share my understanding and the reading into the great unfolding through my understanding of the power of one mind. Intentology in Chinese, yibenlun is some kind of idea that I developed over the years. The one mind Chan practice is part of the linkage passed down through the teachings of Great Master Renmin. As is widely known, the sixth patriarch, Renmin, attained enlightenment upon hearing the Diamond Sutra, which is widely studied and upholding the scripture is essential. The Chinese version of the Diamond Sutra consists of just 5,800 characters, brief in length, yet comprehensive in capturing the essence of Prajna philosophy. Throughout Chinese history, dozens, if not hundreds, of commentaries and annotations have been written on Diamond Sutra, leading to diverse interpretations of its meaning. It's said that even during the time of the Indian Bodhisattva Saga, a fever for interpreting the Diamond Sutra emerged at Nalanda Monastery in India, demonstrating the long and enduring history of translating and explicating this text. Translation is an act of recreation. Any linguistic rendering of a classic, like Diamond Sutra, involves reinterpretation. Chinese history itself boasts multiple translations of the sutra. The English translation, titled The Great Unfolding, represents a significant creative effort, weaving the insight of one mind throughout the text. Its powerful language, when read attentively, genuinely aids readers on the path to awakening. As a form of recreation, translation inevitably incorporates the translator's understanding. It is natural. What matters is the translator's strive to grasp the original meaning of the text. Although, from a hermeneutic perspective, fully capturing this original meaning may be an elusive idea. The translator must not only aim for it, but also make every effort to approach it, to express the meaning they discern as completely as possible. We can sense the power of one mind when reading Great Unfolding, conveyed through its spontaneous and deliberate language. In comparison to existing Chinese translations and commentaries, I will argue that the Great Unfolding possesses many strengths. The Sion Master Daihen of the Great Unfolding chose the path of one mind to convey to readers that all phenomena in the world operates as an integrated whole. Interesting, no matter what choices people make, all things continue to function as one. This is the omnipresence of one mind. Thus, every life, every phenomenon in this world is continuously and ceaselessly unfolding in relation to everything else. This eternal movement and creation are the activity of one mind. In the philosophy of Wanyaiming, the Chinese philosopher in Ming Dynasty, the perpetual motion of the universe is the motion of mind, hence nothing exists beyond the mind. In understanding of mind intentology, everything is the movement and transformation of intent, intention, intentionality. The universe is one mind, or simply mind itself, only mind, or, put another way, the motion of original intent, intention, intentionality. Let's start with the introduction of the Great Unfolding. Reading this passage, we can perceive a personifying one mind and a wholeness of life force. The movement of the universe is movement, one mind, and every corner of existence is permeated by it. Thus, one conveys both unity and omnipresence. The Buddhist sutras are records of the teaching spoken by the Buddha, who embodies ultimate wisdom. Later generations awake to this wisdom through studying the scriptures. By engaging with the Great Unfolding, we greatly expand our own wisdom. Hence, unfolding refers not only to the external cosmos, but also to the revelation of our inner nature. The use of the gerund unfolding emphasizes that enlightenment is a simultaneous process of internal and external opening, which Professor Park tried to emphasize related. Through our inherently vast and luminous wisdom, we illuminate the radiance of the universe. We follow Shakyamuni Buddha into the great flowing and interconnected energy of the one mind. We merge with the Buddha, with the sun, the moon, the stars, and the phenomena between heavens and earth, becoming one with the cosmic whole. In other words, the one mind is the universe. The universe is the one mind, and awareness is essential consciousness as such. In my Intentology, the foundational consciousness that recognizes the essence of the cosmos. This foundational consciousness is not a static noun, but like unfolding, a dynamic germ, an ongoing process wherein mind and intention open into the wholeness of the universe. Let's reflect on this passage. One can truly realize that the one mind is the universe, the integration of heaven, earth, and humanity. The one mind is the every totality of the world itself. This consciousness ought to be the origin and foundation of the world. When the Buddha delivered his teachings in Seonwon, he sought to reveal to people that constitutes the fundamental consciousness at the source of all existence, according to the translation. According to this translation, the Buddha taught the one mind is the origin of all things, and let all phenomena energy operate in unity through the one mind. Thus, the Sion Master Daihen interprets the one mind as Dharma expounded by the Buddha. By revealing the fundamental nature of the world, the Buddha aimed to lead people toward enlightened understanding of the wholeness, essentially offering guidance on consciousness, helping individuals transition from a state of confusion to one of awakened, holistic awareness. This passage appears in the second chapter. From this understanding, we can see the Subhuti's interpretation is essentially correct. The Buddha taught that if all beings awaken to the ultimate truth, they may respond to the impermanence of all phenomena, all life, and all creation with positivity, wisdom, and initiative. The ceaseless arising and passing away of things, their ups and downs are indeed impermanent. Yet, this is also the eternal Dharma. For such has been the nature of reality since ancient times. This is the unfolding of the one mind. To comprehend this consciousness is to transform ordinary perception. This is to realize that state of unity in which self and all things merge, the harmony of heaven and humanity. This shift in awareness carries tremendous power, guiding all beings to naturally align with and follow the source of the cosmos, the one mind. This transformative power of consciousness is, in fact, the original phase of awakened awareness that may be called consciousness as such in my Intentology. The Sion master Daihan interprets the one mind as the ultimate truth of the universe, which is essentially a consciousness of unity between mind and cosmos. For every consciousness in the world, all beings that arise within consciousness come as they are, Lu Lai, Tanga Gata. Seeming arriving just so. This coming has only one mode, not a second. Hence, there's no need for discrimination. Simply allow mind and consciousness to resonate with this coming, to let awareness arrive together with all that comes. In this way, the fundamental mind settles naturally. For the movement of consciousness and the movement of the world are now in rhythm. The world has always come this way, and our consciousness too follows along. Without resisting the world through a second way rooted in the temporal distinctions, without setting itself apart. Whether sailing against or with the current, consciousness moves along with the flow, responding to the coming of the water's movement. As the world unfolds in this matter, so too do our mind and consciousness. There's no second way of unfolding. Thus, the one mind is, in essence, a form of awareness. The consciousness of thus come, Lu Lai, or as it has always come. If one can abide in the consciousness of thus come and skillfully safeguard this awareness, it becomes possible to subdue all deluded thoughts and rest single-mindedly in the state of thus come. In other words, thus come is the one mind. It is also the one intent, spoken of the theory of consciousness as such, or Intentology. Considering this passage from the third chapter, this passage can help us understand enlightenment through the consciousness of thus come. When we align our awareness of all inner life with the original wisdom of cosmic reality, the fundamental wisdom, without any distinction, then all previously deluded perceptions rooted in worldly discrimination instantly vanish. For consciousness has now fully surrendered to and merged with the ultimate wisdom of the universe, one mind, also known as the an itself complete enlightened mind, or what is called the wondrous blind true mind. In essence, it's a fundamental consciousness that resonates with the thus-come nature of the cosmos. In the fourth chapter, we read the Buddha's teaching. What the Buddha emphasized to puberty is this: what I teach and what we have awakened to from ancient times until now is nothing but the one mind. Yet, if your one mind is not attuned to the fundamental wisdom of the universe, it's not yet the true one mind. In other words, what you possess is still the human mind, not the Tao mind. If one realizes the state of the Tao mind, it becomes clear that within this realm, consciousness transcends the distinction between inner and outer, and harmoniously unifies all phenomena into one totality. Within such consciousness, the arising of awareness lies with the suchness of all things, how they emerge and how they cease, thus enabling consciousness to abide in the middle way. If human consciousness can accord with the thus calm Tao mind, where mind and matters are non-dual, and where mind and phenomena mutually accomplish one another, then consciousness can give rise to countless inconceivable states throughout the universe, all exactly as they are. In the 8th chapter, we read, this passage follows the previous discussion on why one should practice giving without attachment to form. The Buddha instructs Subhuti that the work when practicing formless giving, that is, practicing the teaching of giving without abiding in any phenomenon, one must realize that the ultimate truth realized by all Buddhas throughout the 10 directions, the Dharma of body, is the supreme awakening, the dynamic functioning of the original mind and suchness. It's fully revealed in all sutras and teachings, yet it's not outside our mind. It is completely unified with our innate mind, our fundamental nature, the one mind. Thus, the Dharma is the mind. And all the phenomena are one mind. Also, the one intent in Intentology. Beyond mind and consciousness, there's no other Dharma. Precisely because the mind is the Dharma, cultivating the mind is itself cultivating the Dharma. And refining consciousness is comprehending all phenomena. The Buddha's teaching is profoundly direct. We need only practice in accordance with this mind state to attain supreme merit. Therefore, the merit gained from cultivating mind and consciousness can permeate the entire Dharma realm, universally nourishing all beings throughout the 10 directions. Most people have little understanding of the power of conscious cultivation. Yet, once one awakens to the truth that the universe's ultimate reality is fundamentally the one mind, the power of our consciousness can expand boundlessly throughout the cosmos, forming an elixir of intent that shines with radiant light, eternally illuminating. Our innate mind and nature are originally Buddha nature. The innate dynamism of our mind is the every creative force of the universe. Beyond the active power of mind and consciousness, there is no other thus calm force in the cosmos. In this way, human consciousness and the ceaseless creativity of the universe become harmoniously non-dual. Awakening to such Dharma is like nourishing all beings with sweet dew, universally benefiting the 10 directions. In the 10th chapter, we read, this chapter continues the Buddha's earlier teaching on the nature of enlightenment emphasizing that when we attain the supreme seat of wisdom, the An itself awakening, and realize the mind of all beings are interpreting and dividing. When consciousness permeates all phenomena, then the light of wisdom shines forth in all directions. It is mystical union of consciousness with the universe. This wondrous state of integrated oneness is a profound dimension of awareness. Yet, if we seek its ultimate truth, we find it is too subtle to be captured by any name, form, or tangible reality. The purpose of this teaching is to help people overcome attachment to doctrines. Although the one mind and the cosmos appear in harmonious interplay, from the absolute perspective, the perspective of the thus come, there's ultimately nothing concrete to grasp. This calls for a complete relinquishment of any clinging to the purpose, supposed reality or truth of dharmic characteristics. One must realize the state of perfect emptiness and wondrous existence. In this wondrous existence of interpenetrating phenomenon, there's truly nothing to be attained, like the luminous open nature of emptiness itself. Everything simply as it is. This is the core of the middle way in prajna wisdom, transcending dualities in consciousness, negating any subject-object division, such as the one who realized and what is realized, for the highest awakening cannot abide in any form. This is essential to recognize that nature and form are non-dual. Emptiness and phenomena are inseparable. Although the phenomenal world displays a brilliant and complex play of light and function, consciousness must constantly empty the substantiality of all things, returning to the suchness of emptiness, the fundamental realm of true nature. This is consciousness as such in Intentology. The original state of awareness thus come, abiding nowhere, yet fully present, responding without abiding, immediately returning to emptiness. In the ultimate sense, all explanation falls short. Thus, we enter the paradoxical realm where the speaker has nothing to teach, for the highest realization cannot be captured in words and must not be clung to. Let us continue the reading. Here, Subhuti respectively responds to the Buddha, emphasizing that the profound function of this mind nature, the one mind, transcends time and space. The subtle activities of consciousness is not bound by temporal or spatial limitations. A single thought encompasses the 3,000 realms. A moment of awareness spans 1,000 years, and one intention pervades the 10 directions. When consciousness arises, it extends universally throughout all phenomena, inter-reflecting with all things, emerging completely with the mirror dharmas. Mind and matter are non-dual, fused into oneness. This is the fundamental state of all existence. For without consciousness, there would be no phenomenon. Thus, all things are based on intent. This is the meaning of consciousness as such in Intentology. Consciousness as such is absolute and non-dual, and transcending verbal expression. All things are undifferentiated, embodying great compassion in sheer unity, beyond any division of time or space. All phenomena mutually contain and interpenetrate one another, an idea vividly symbolized in the Huayan tradition by the metaphor of angel's net, where the line of sentient beings' mind interluminates and permeates all, illustrating the natural, effortless state of the Dharma realm's dependent arising. It surpasses dualist description through languages, goes beyond conceptual designations and provisional names, and transcends even skillful means aimed at liberating beings. Only then can one fully realize that the one mind is indeed one intent. Let us continue reading. This passage continues the earlier teachings on the nature of enlightenment, emphasizing that consciousness should not claim to material existence or any phenomena appearances, nor should thought give rise to fixed views of self-centered attachments. This is because all that is perceived through the five senses, sight, sound, smell, taste, and touch, is as fleeting as morning dew or a flash of lightning, unreliable, dependently arising, and empty in nature. Thus, all such perceptions vanish swiftly, leaving no trace behind. The coming and going of all things is like human life. We bring nothing at birth and take nothing at death. In the end, all return to vast emptiness, a spotless expanse, pure and clear. Therefore, one should deeply trust the inner realization of the state of one mind, one intent, abiding in it as the fundamental reality. From this ground, respond appropriately to conditions with wondrous function, allowing consciousness to arise as it comes, to emerge, to exist, and to change along with all phenomena, abiding nowhere, yet giving rise to the mind. This is the way to transcend all forms of attachments, dissolve the boundaries between subject and object, and enter the realms of non-duality, where self and things are united in one essence. Now, let's turn to the 11th chapter. Here, Shubhuti respectively responds further, using the example of the number of grams of sand in the Ganges River to illustrate what the phenomena of the world are indeed immeasurable. Yet, in the presence of the wondrous, unimpeded function of the one mind, and amidst the inconceivable boundless activities of all dharmas, even the Ganges River itself becomes superfluous, for all appearances are ultimately unnecessary. Awakening to this realm, where all phenomena intervene and mutually interact, what ineffable essence, which is inherently neither existent nor non-existent, is to realize the unity of ultimate emptiness and wondrous manifestation. The true nature of suchness transcends all categories of measurement. The seamless interpretation of the one mind perfectly mirrors the Huayan teachings of one is all is one, a view of complete and unimpeded harmony. This is expressed through neither existent nor non-existent, highlighting the middle way of ultimate reality, where emptiness and form are non-dual. The ultimate emptiness of dependent arising, selfless nature, and the wondrous manifestation of interdependent arising are inseparably intertwined. It cannot be conveyed through negation or metaphor, or the ultimate truth transcends all linguistic description. Let's continue reading the 11th chapter. Building upon the earliest theme of the unity of ultimate emptiness and wondrous existence, this passage clarifies when the entire world arises and functions as whole, when the one mind manifests as what the Huayan school calls the one true Dharma realm, where all phenomena are themselves the complete functioning of suchness. And one is all. Upon reaching this state of genuine non-duality, the immense merit generates surplusly. That is, gives 7 charges feeding the entire threefold great thousand world system. It even transcends the offering of harsh charges of numerous as the sands of the Ganges, pervading the great cosmos. Yet, ultimately, not a single Dharma can be attained. Practical generosity with one mind, one intent, yet abiding nowhere, free from all attachments, one avoids falling into either the views of annihilation, denying cause and effect, or the views of eternity, clinging to substantial existence. Only then can one fully realize the non-duality of innate nature and cultivate practice, awakening to the virtuous power of inherently true and undivided nature. To illuminate the mind and perceive one's true nature is to understand that innate nature embodies truth itself, while also dynamically functioning in every moment, where the movement of intent becomes cultivate virtue, expressing in practice the wondrous capacity of mind interfusing with phenomena. All things communicate with mind and consciousness, thus even appearances contrary as the sounds of Ganges River ultimately return to nothing at hand. According to Prajna Sutras, all phenomena are boundaries, yet after all, emptiness and without existence. Only through such understanding and practice can one truly accomplish the perfect state where compassion and wisdom functions in unison. Let us read the 13th chapter. This translation transforms the essence of the 13th chapter into teachings of one mind. The supreme luminous essence, the ocean ultimate the awakening, where it serves the diamond perfection of wisdom. It refers to the capacity to fully illuminate the suchness of the one mind, to comprehend how the one mind permeates the entire functioning of the reality, unceasing, eternal, abiding, unchanging since ancient times, whether perceived or unperceived. All is harmoniously non-dual. One must understand that the Dharma of the one mind remains unshaken through countless ages. No matter what hundreds of thousands of names are provisionally used, it can ultimately never be confined by concept or forms, for all latter has characteristics illusory. It cannot be captured by definitions, nor expressed through states or realms. It is true must be directly realized at the fundamental core of the mind, as if mirrored like wisdom suddenly illuminates it in a moment of immediate awakening. Understanding this, we see that although the Buddha taught many doctrines, in reality he said nothing. This supreme illuminated nature of the one mind can only be grasped through its unceasing wondrous functioning within the endless arising of all phenomena. Thus, both essence and function resides within the one mind. This aligns with the profound meaning of one mind, two gates, from the awakening of faith in the Mahayana, and echoes Prajna wisdom of Zen Zhao's treatise on the emptiness of the unreal. Within all things themselves lies their emptiness. The teaching of the one mind must be embodied in daily practice. Only then can it fulfill the Chinese instruction from the Platform Sutra. Dharma realm is within the world, with the diamond-like wisdom that severs attached to names and forms, while creates suchness beyond the words and thoughts, attaining the great freedom where the worldly and the transcend are non-dual. Now we proceed to the final part of the 13th chapter. So in this passage, the Buddha addressed Subhuti. Those who realize the true reality of the one mind understand the true reality ultimately beyond characteristics. The formless Dharma they share through non-dual teachings must adapt to the differing capacity of sentient beings, responding skillfully to liberate all. This cannot be compared to the minor fruits of human or heaven realms. It transcends conditional merit and in radiant virtue shines eternity. Because of time, I jumped 2 paragraphs. Let's now turn to the 14th chapter. In this passage, the Buddha continues to instruct Subhuti, even if my faculties were shattered, breaking all attachment to the 5 aggregates, my mind kingdom fragment into dust, completely dissolving the loops of self-clinging. I will still bind in the profound sensation depth of nature emptiness, the essence of prajna, while clearly perceiving the functional manifestation of all phenomena. The activity of prajna, mind, and context will remain as one, transcending the duality of subject and object, with wondrous functions ever present. This is because where there is no notion of self, no concept of what I have done, and no attachment to sublime merit. Because of time, I will go directly to next PowerPoint. Let's continue reading the 14th chapter. This passage emphasizes the unduality of essence of functioning, the ever-present emergence of wondrous existence from the essential nature of emptiness, like reflections appearing in the minor, while the mirror of itself remains clear and luminous. Yet this is not a dead or static emptiness. This is the living wisdom of Prajna, as described in the Faith in Mind inscriptions. Lucid yet serene, serene yet lucid. Yeah. I will jump all these paragraphs. I think I don't have enough time. Yeah. Go next one. Yeah. We now proceed to the final part of 14th chapter. This passage clarifies all people inherently possess one mind, expressed in Huayan Sutra. All sentient beings are endowed with the wisdom and virtuous marks of the Tathagata. This understanding aligns with the Chan teaching that the mind itself is Buddha, and the Tiantai doctrine of inherent nature, where affirms that Buddhahood is innate within all beings. The one mind is originally present within us. It is not something acquired through external cultivation. Similarly, the one intent is inherently within consciousness, though like the unconscious or subconscious is not immediately perceived or illuminated by ordinary awareness. I'll go to the next slide. Okay. To unify all teachings under one mind and to practice accordance with it resonate deeply with the teaching of the Renmin Sutra, Shanlang Sutra. The one mind, the true suchness, pervades the entire Dharma realm. This means that both practice and doctrine ultimately return to one mind, thereby dissolving the artificial barriers between different schools and traditions. I'll go to the next slide. Yeah. Those are later part of the 16th chapter here. From the perspective of profound insight into the ocean of prajna nature, under such contemplative awareness, one realizes the seamless function of oneself with a non-dual mind. Beyond one's own mind, there's no other mind. Between heaven and earth, there's only one mind. Acting spontaneously within this state of one mind itself is an offering to Buddhas throughout the 10 directions. Yet, when acting through the one mind, there's truly no giver, no recipient, not act of giving, as if nothing is being thought, nothing is being performed. Everything simply unfolds according to its natural suchness. I go to the next slide. Those who realize the one mind naturally emerge their innate life with the Dharma body as all Buddhas, transcending the limitations of time and space, and embodying the holistic interpreting view of the unity of Dharma realm. As the Surangama Sutra states, mind, Buddha, and sentient beings are not separate. This is the truth of non-duality of self and other. I'll go to the next slide. Okay, finally, it is essential to understand the one mind represents the ultimate meaning of liberation through prajna, the perfection of both wisdom and compassion. To realize the one mind is to dissolve the duality between the liberator, oneself, and those to be liberated, sentient beings. Embodying the wisdom of equality described the Sutra of perfect enlightenment, all sentient beings have originally attained Buddhahood. So the liberator has no sentient self. It's merely a temporary manifestation of the one mind within the Dharma realm. As the Dharma Sutra says, the Tathagata comes from nowhere and goes nowhere. All things in the world simply arise as they come. Thus they are called thus come, Du Lai. If one realizes this thus come, one becomes free from all attachments to coming and going, and can thereby eternally transcend all future suffering. The suffering of the world fundamentally stems from the mind's clinging to the ceaseless movement of phenomena. Simply by releasing this clinging awareness, one has been permanently overcome the rules of fiction and attain complete liberation. Awakening to one mind and freeing oneself from distress cannot rely on external forces. External help may temporarily lose bounds, but true liberation must come from self-awakening, realizing the one mind within oneself and recognizing it as the one mind of the universe. This is like a person having a nightmare. Being awakened by another offers momentary relief, but to truly end the nightmare, one must wake up by oneself. Thus, one must achieve self-liberation. In truth, every person inherently possesses a capacity for self-liberation. Only the power of inner awakening is real. All external phenomena are like dreams and illusions. By clearly seeing that external things are but illusory appearances arising from the confusion of the one mind, and by realizing that the three realms are created by the mind, as taught in the Dashuhunim-Ka Sutra, the sutra on the 10 spiritual levels, one must work deeply to transform consciousness itself. This means applying effort at the level of one's mind, one mind, and innate one intent. The realization of the one mind is, in essence, a transformation of consciousness, an awakening to the one intent, an insight into consciousness as such. In my Intentology, this is to emphasize empathic awareness of all phenomena in the immediate present. What may be called the intention of emptying existence. This is true illumination of mind and perception of nature. 明心见性 in the Platform Sutra. That's all. Thank you very much for your attention.
네, 교수님의 아주 장시간 아주 꼿꼿하고 열성적인 강의에 감사드립니다. 저는 시간이 조금 조마조마했었는데 또 시간까지 맞춰주셔서 감사합니다. 제가 교수님의 그 발표 중에서 이런 대목이 저한테는 이렇게 마음에 와닿았습니다. 한마음은 우주의 본질을 인식하는 근원적 의식이고 이 근원적 의식은 정적인 명사가 아니라 unfolding 펼쳐짐처럼 동적인 동명사이다 라는 구절을 매우 뜻깊게 들었습니다. 이어서 원하이밍 교수님의 발표에 이어서 김재영 교수님이 토론을 해주시겠습니다. 교수님은 서강대학교 종교학과 명예교수이시며 현재 중국 산동대학교 치루연구 레지던시 프로그램 방문 중에 계십니다. 교수님을 모시고 토론을 듣는 시간을 갖겠습니다.
감사합니다. 또 이렇게 그 귀한 자리에 초대를 해서 이렇게 또 원 교수님 글에 대해서 논평을 할 수 있게 돼서 감사하게 생각을 하고 제 논평문을 간단히 읽기 전에 한마음이라는 얘기를 오늘 저는 그 저기 뒤에 앉아 계신 그 신부님한테 좀 느낀 것 같아요. 무슨 얘기냐면 신부님이 아까 이제 차를 마시는데 저보러 왜 이렇게 따뜻합니까? 이게 낯설지가 않고 하나인 것 같고 마치 성당에 왔던 그런 느낌을 받았다 그러면서 그 얘기가 그냥 어떻게 보면 지나가는 얘기일 수 있지만 우리에게 굉장히 살벌하고 각박하고 모든 것을 있는 그대로 보지 않는 그런 사회 안에 굉장히 많이 시사점을 주지 않나 하는 이런 느낌을 좀 받았습니다. 저는 사실 금강경을 연구한 학자도 아니고 굉장히 부족한 사람입니다. 그런데 제가 원 교수님하고 이제 연이 닿고 그래서 6월 달에 아마 저희 서강대학교에서 학술대회를 하고 잠깐 왔을 때 이분이 그 대행선사의 이제 글을 읽고 금방 아마 그 파악을 하는 걸 보고 또 이렇게 과학원에서 귀한 자리를 만들어 주신 인연 때문에 제가 부족하지만 이렇게 여기에 발표를 하게 되는 것 같습니다. 제 글을 간단히 읽겠습니다. 원 교수님의 논문을 논하기에 앞서 한 말씀 드리고자 합니다. 인공지능 시대라는 양날의 경험 속에서 우리 인간성을 비판적으로 성찰하는 이 중요한 모임에 참여하게 된 것을 영광으로 생각합니다. 특히 한마음 선원과 그 산하 한마음과학원 스님들과 제가자분들께 감사의 말씀을 드립니다. 인류와 그 미래에 대한 여러분의 깊은 관심에 큰 자부심을 느낍니다. 제 논평을 간결하게 전하기 위해 세 가지에 집중하고자 합니다. 첫째, 제가 원 교수님을 직접 만나 뵙고 그의 저서와 논문들을 읽으며 나눈 다양한 대화적 경험을 말씀드리고자 합니다. 둘째, 원 교수님께서 대행선사께서 번역하신 금강경 The Great Unfolding, 이거는 기가 막힌 번역을 하신 것 같습니다. 영문으로 Unfolding이라는, 깊이 읽으시며 제시하는 핵심 논지를 정리하겠습니다. 마지막으로 대행선사의 창조적 해석과 원 교수님의 의본론 사이에 더 깊은 연결을 위해 몇 가지 질문을 드리고자 합니다. 토론자의 개인적 경험. 저는 몇몇 국제학술대회에서 원 교수님과 같은 패널에 앉게 되면서 카톨릭 관련의 종교 간의 대화 모임에서도 몇 번 있었고 그 밖에도 이제 공적인 자리에서 몇 번을 같은 패널에 앉게 됐었습니다. 처음 알게 되었습니다. 대화를 시작하자마자 우리는 같은 학문적 여정을 갖고 있다는 생각이 들었습니다. 이후 저는 교수님의 학문적 탐구가 궁금해져 대학원 수업에 2차례 또 국제학술대회에 1차례 초대한 바 있습니다. 만남이 거듭될수록 교수님의 탐구가 저와 같은 배를 타고 있다는 확신이 점점 더 강해졌습니다. 그러한 확신에는 2가지 단서가 있었습니다. 교수님께서는 최근에 독실한 기독교인 어머니 밑에서 자라셨다고 고백하셨습니다. 그 순간 제 직감이 맞았다는 생각이 들었습니다. 동시에 저는 교수님께서 불교에도 깊은 신심을 가진 분일 것이라는 느낌을 받았는데 실제로 그러하였습니다. 교수님께서는 한명거사라는 불교 법명으로 알려져 계시며 이는 통합된 밝음을 뜻합니다. 교수님께서는 30년 넘게 중국 선불교를 연구해 오셨습니다. 신앙과 학문적 여정은 결코 분리되지 않고 늘 깊게 얽혀 있음을 알 수 있었습니다. 인천공항으로 함께 이동하는 택시 안에서 나눈 대화에서도 교수님의 학문과 종교적 삶이 하나로 이어져 있음을 다시 확인할 수 있었습니다. 교수님의 종교와 철학에 대한 근원적 시각에는 불교적 신앙과 지성이 둘이 아님을 드러내는 비이원성의 차원이 자리 잡고 있습니다. 교수님께서는 근원적 의도, 의향 혹은 일의 개념을 중심으로 한 포괄적 철학 체계 의본론을 발전시키셨습니다. 이 개념은 중국 종교 철학 전통의 일심과 긴밀히 맞닿아 있습니다. 주요 논점입니다. 선종 젠 불교의 일심 수행은 육조 해능 대사로부터 전승된 법맥에서 비롯됩니다. 원 교수님께서는 대행선사의 독창적 해석을 관통하는 종교적 주제로 공유지의라는 개념을 체계적으로 설명하셨습니다. 특히 금강경 The Great Unfolding의 독창적인 차원을 설득력 있게 집어내셨습니다. 교수님의 독해에 따르면 대행선사께서는 금강경 번역에서 한마음의 길을 택하셔서 모든 현상이 하나의 전체로 작용한다는 점을 드러내셨습니다. 사람들이 어떤 선택을 하든 만물은 하나로 작용한다는 점, 곧 한마음의 편재성을 강조하셨습니다. 그래서 세계의 모든 생명과 현상은 서로 기대며 끊임없이 펼쳐집니다. 이 영원한 운동과 창조가 바로 한마음의 작용입니다. 우리 사회자님께서도 말씀하신 것처럼 이 동사, 동명사라는 이 펼쳐짐, 이게 굉장히 중요한 화두인 것 같습니다. 의본론에서는 교수님께서는 모든 것이 의도, 의향의 운동과 변형이라고 보십니다. 우주는 일심이며 곧 마음 자체 혹은 근원적 의도, 의향이 움직이는 것이라고 규정하십니다. 교수님께서는 대행선사의 한마음이 자신의 근원적 의도, 의향과 매우 유사하다고 보셨습니다. 한마음이 곧 우주이고 우주가 곧 한마음이라는 지각은 근원적 의식, 즉 의본에 해당합니다. 이는 정적인 명사가 아니라 펼쳐짐 같은 동적인 과정으로 마음과 의도, 의향이 우주 전체로 열리는 끊임없는 과정입니다. 교수님께서는 대행선사의 금강경에서 이 점과 깊은 공명을 발견하신 것 같습니다. 또한 교수님께서는 대행선사의 한마음이 추상적, 관념적, 이론이 아니라 의식을 변형시키는 힘을 드러낸다고 지적하셨습니다. 한마음은 우주의 궁극적 진리, 즉 마음과 우주의 합일 의식이며 이는 의본론에서 말하는 의본의 본래 모습과 상응합니다. 나아가 교수님께는 열애의 의식에 머물며 이를 잘 지켜낼 수 있다면 모든 망념을 제압하고 오직 열애의 상태에 전념할 수 있다고 하셨습니다. 다시 말해 열애는 곧 한마음이자 동시에 일의입니다. 따라서 교수님의 논지를 따른다면 대행선사께서 금강경에서 일관되게 사용하신 한마음은 내배적으로 분절된 우리의 세계 속에서 종교적 신앙과 지적 탐구를 하나로 엮은 큰 선물이라고 할 수 있습니다. 질문입니다. 마지막으로 원 교수님의 논문과 대행선사의 금강경 해석의 접점을 더 깊이 하기 위해 4가지 질문을 드리고자 합니다. 교수님께서는 대행선사의 법문이나 2차 자료를 오랫동안 연구하지 않으셨음에도 불구하고 대행선사의 인류와 우주에 대한 자비의 요체를 곧바로 파악하신 것처럼 보였습니다. 대행선사의 한마음이 왜 교수님의 의본론과 유사하다고 강하게 주장하시는지 조금 더 설명을 해주시면 감사하겠습니다. 2. 교수님의 시각은 본질적으로 의본론의 틀 속에서 대행선사의 견해를 비교적으로 읽으신 것 같습니다. 그렇다면 한마음과 일의의 관계는 어떻게 이해할 수 있습니까? 두 개념의 유사성은 의본론의 핵심인 듯합니다. 3. 논문을 읽으며 교수님께서는 서양의 윌리엄 제임스의 종교적 경험의 다양성과 동양의 왕陽명의 저작들을 불교 문헌 외에 읽으셨을 것이라는 생각이 많이 들었습니다. 만약 그렇다면 그것들이 교수님의 시각을 형성하는데, 의본론을 형성하는데 어떻게 기여했는지 듣고 싶습니다. 끝으로 교수님께서 중국 불교에 다양하게 참여해 오신 것을 알고 있습니다. 굉장히 깊게 관여를 하고 있는 것으로 알고 있습니다. 그 경험에 비추어 한마음 선언과 같은 새로운 변혁적 혁신과 의식과 그 현상들을 종교적, 지적 차원에서 총체적으로 연구해 나갈 방법을 조금 더 해안을 말씀해 주시면 감사하겠습니다. 감사합니다.
예, 교수님의 짧은 답변 듣겠습니다.
Thank Professor Kim for your wonderful comments and your questions. I'll try to respond to your four questions, each one by one. The first one, both Sion Master Daiham's concept of one mind and my own framework of Intentology shares significant similarities, particularly in that one mind closely corresponds to the notion of one intention. While yi xing and yi yi, very similar even in Chinese. I have explored this connection in my published work, Illuminating Intentology through the Platform Sutra of Huineng, Tanjing Mingyi, a Chinese version, which examines the philosophical teaching of the 6 pages, Chinese Chan Buddhism. It's noteworthy that both Sion Master Daihen and Master Huineng attained enlightenment through the Diamond Sutra. And despite receiving little formal education, each grew to be a revered master within their respective traditions. Their teachings are deeply rooted in the personal lived experience rather than mere scholarly knowledge. Similarly, I had developed my systematic understanding of Intentology through interpreting ancient Chinese classics, much as Sion Master Daihen's interpreting the sutras through the lens of one mind. Based on these parallels, I'm convinced that the concept of one mind bears a strong resemblance to my own Intentology, which is grounded in the principle of one intention. Second one, the Chinese character for mind, xin, is closely related to intention, yi, as both are associated with thought and emotion. The Ming Dynasty philosopher Wanyaoming understood intention as the active function of the mind, the aspect that arises and directs. In contrast, my framework of Intentology proposed that intention should be regarded as the fundamental basis, much like the concept of one mind in Master Daihen's spiritual traditions. From this perspective, both mind and intention can be seen as the ontological foundation of the cosmos. In this sense, an intention-based reality is essentially a mind-based reality, and one intention bears profound resemblance to one mind. To know one's original mind is to know the true self, to understand who you truly are. This awareness corresponds precisely to being conscious of the continuously flowing intentions in each moment, and this is what Master Daihen taught us. The third one, my academic background in psychology introduced me to the works of William James during my undergraduate studies, fostering an early familiarity with his philosophical outlook. This interest depended during my time at University of Hawaii, where I wrote my dissertation exploring the connections between Confucianism and American pragmatism. It has there that I began to apply the Jamesian concept of the stream of consciousness to articulate the foundational ideas of my own framework, Intentology. Over the past decade, I have continued to develop these connections through teaching Wanyaoming's philosophy of practical instructional living, cultivating in the publication of my own interpretation this year. Through this work, I have found that both James' notion of the stream of consciousness and Yang-Ming's concept of the universal mind offer profound insights for understanding Sion Master Daihen's teaching of one mind. The fourth one, Sion Master Daihen's teaching of one mind represents a transformative form of consciousness, demonstrating how ancient wisdom remains vibrantly relevant, capable of illuminating modern lives and guiding people toward enlightenment. If possible, I would like to support Hanmaum Sion Center in expanding its influence through the following approaches. First, we can further philosophically contextualize one mind, particularly by fostering dialogue with phenomenology and the philosophy of mind. Second, we can facilitate the engagement of one mind with other spiritual traditions. Third, we can explore ways to frame one mind in scientific terms, enabling constructive exchanges with contemporary fields such as artificial intelligence. Fourth, we can strengthen the intellectual dimension of one mind by promoting intellectual dialogue, especially with Chinese Confucian and Taoist thought. Fifth, we can enhance the cultural resonance of one mind through deepened interrelations with the revival of Chinese Chan Buddhism in China today. Ultimately, one mind serves as a powerful unifying concept, capable of bridging diverse cultural and civilizational traditions to help create a shared future for humanity. Thank you very much.
네, 원하이밍 교수님과 김지영 교수님 두 분의 깊이 있는 발표와 토론에 감사의 박수를 갖다 부탁드리겠습니다.